The kidneys play a critical role in health. When something goes wrong, it could indicate a kidney disease. The Jamaica Kidney Kids Foundation has been supportive of parents of children who have a chronic kidney disease. One such parent is Annika, who at times worries about what might happen next, how her child feels, and what treatments are available.
Javari was able to do stuff like a regular kid. Upon reaching age 1 year old, that's where we started to notice that where Javari deteriorated. Like when he's standing, his feet started to tremble. I took him to the doctor. The doctor said nothing is wrong with him, but eventually as time passed, he stopped walking, stopped talking. That's we learned about, say that he had cerebral palsy. But as time progresses, he deteriorates more. So where speech, movement, thing that he would do for himself, he doesn't do it anymore. So basically, I'm Javari hands, feet, and everything. I'm round the clock 24/7. I do everything for Javari because he's unable to take care of himself. I felt devastated. I went into depression to know that my child, that I thought would be like, able to move around, I'd be able to work, and him and his brother would go to school and so forth, to know that you have a child with a sickness like this. It was really nerve-wracking. Javari took sick in 2012, where before that we were going to Bustamante Children's Hospital, and he was treated for cerebral palsy. But in 2012 now, Javari took sick, and we went to Spanish Town Hospital, where he went in all shaking and dehydrated. He was vomiting and diarrhea and stuff. And upon checking Javari, they realized that his kidney, we started to see him swelling and so forth. Javari even went into coma for 1 week, and he was transferred, starting to swelling. And then they said, "Mommy, there's a test that we need to do, and it will cost you X amount. So can you afford it?" And I called his uncle and asked for help, and they assisted me, and I paid that money and did the test, and we found out that his kidney was in problem. So we were transferred to the University Hospital, and where Javari was still in coma, went up there. When I went there, oh my God, it was a lot of doctors came. That's where I met Dr. Miller and Dr. Gooden, the nephrologist there. We have been going to UA since 3 years, so the past 3 years now, from 2012 to now, where Javari has been through a lot. I thought I'd lost my son. I'm unable to work because of Javari's special needs. So the Kidney Kids Foundation has helped by purchasing like the dialysis fluid and help Javari to dialyze. And normally, each time he goes on the machine, you have to pay like a $6,000, and Javari is dialyzed so 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. At times I feel, awful. I said, well, I should be able to take care of my kids. I really don't want pride, but I've learned to swallow my pride, and at the end of the day, it's good health. And these doctors are here for it, not because of the love of the money. They are dedicated doctors who work beyond call of duty. Understand? They are there for you, not only the sick child, they are there for the family at hand. Understand? And they're really nice, and I'm very grateful for all the help that they have given to me and my kids, and all the other parents. I know they are grateful for the help and the support that we're getting. Javari is a person like this. He's unable to speak, but he communicates with his eyes. So his facial expression, if he's not aware, he doesn't know you, you're like, and like, yeah. And I noticed that he likes eye color skin, female, yes, he's for the ladies, yes. And he will pop his eyes and he will smile, but he's very skeptic. Yeah, he doesn't want to talk to him, just pose them and turn him and ignore you and just turn him head. But he's very alert and he's very intelligent, although he doesn't speak, and he's my bundle of joy, yeah. For me, every mommy wish, oh my God, I'd love to see, not to be worrying that one day this nice little young man will not be in my life. And I worry about that D-Day, yes I do, that is my greatest fear. But my greatest fear is for my 10-year-old. Shay, to, how would he react to it, being that they're so close? Yes. Javi and Shay, So for me, I'd love for him to get a kidney transplant, and some breakthrough that I can see my son even say, "Mommy," yeah, that would be so, wow. Look at that, cry. The medication that they're on are very expensive, so there are times that I am not working, I'm very stressed out of, there's an injection that he gets every Friday. One of it basically can run up from almost 75, and yeah. Having NHF, it doesn't cover it. Javari, along with the kidney failure, Javari also has a neurodegenerative disorder. He also is hypertensive. Yes, kidney patients tend to be anemic too. Understand? He's asthmatic. He has an enlarged heart. Yes, that is my 8-year-old, all these complications. Every day that he's alive, I'm grateful and thankful that my son is alive and well. You understand? We lost a lot of them. Yeah, and we're very grateful for Kidney Kids Foundation for helping us and understanding all the support that I get from my Kidney Kids UE and my family at home, yeah. And even my Shay there, it takes a toll and it affects him in school because mommy is not there how he's accustomed to mommy being there. So more time I have to go to school and miss call and say, mommy not doing well. More time I say to me, say, mommy, say you don't love me. I say, Shay, oh God. I cry because I do love him. It's just that because Javari is unable to take care of himself. Yeah, but they are really nice students. We are really nice parents. We are dedicated, loving. We always put out the best for our kids, even when we're there and crying and, oh my God, we want to run. But thank God for God and Kidney Kids family. We are a family. That prays together and we stay together.
Coming up on Caring Hands.
Jonathan is on dialysis since last month, where his kidney is stage 5 kidney. That is the last stage. And dialysis is the only thing that can keep him alive now.
This is Jonathan Campbell. He was born with an abnormal kidney.
Jonathan is on dialysis since last month, where his kidney is stage 5 kidney. That is the last stage. And dialysis is the only thing that can keep him alive now. When Jonathan was about 6 months old, I took him to Children's Hospital. He was there for 2 months and they couldn't find a reason for his fever. His forehead started to deform once I get him big, and his back started to twist. That they were saying it was scoliosis. Anyway, when they sent him home, it was still twisted and his face was slightly deformed. I took him to Glen Vincent 2 days after. He was very small. So I took him to Glen Vincent, and Dr. Shirley told me about Dr. Miller, gave me a letter and said take him there instantly. From then, that's where he has been. Within the same week, he was tested and found that one of his kidneys is not working in at all. And the one that is working is almost finished because the holes in his kidneys are too big. So the nutrients his body should keep in, they were coming out. And he was there a year and 4 months straight. He did a urethra because he couldn't pee. Everything was being backed up. So he did his first surgery and then he could pee on his own. Then we took him to clinic constantly, and then last month, Dr. Miller said because of his heart rate, he can go into cardiac arrest. So he's now on dialysis, doing much better. Well, I didn't see he's not changed. Everybody who knows Jonathan, whether he's sick or not, he's still talkative. He's still up and down. It hasn't changed him. I've passed my stage. I think I've crossed my hurdle. Because I remember once at Children's, every day I go, this forehead got bigger. And I remember one day I said, God, take him. Actually told God, I don't see what you're doing for him. So right now, it's best you just take him, because I'm not coming back to Children's. I don't know what happened on my way home, but the other morning I was there as usual. So I think I've passed my hurdle. The hardest part is when it comes for his medication. Because the worse the kidney gets, is the more medication is on. But going with the visits, I don't find it a problem anymore. Dr. Miller. She is his renal doctor, so whatever happens, she tells us about it. Our main support, my family's main support is Dr. Miller. If I can't get his medication, I just call her. If I can't find a fare, whatever it is, she has been my backbone. So because of that, if I feel worried about something, I know exactly who to call. It doesn't matter the how, I just call her, and without she even answer, I know everything is going to be all right. I just call her. She says, if you want to cry, just call her. So she has been my real mainstay. We go on the walks, we go on the runs, you know, we become active in it because of Dr. Miller. Jonathan is talkative. Sometimes I'll say it's not a kidney wrong, you know, it's a tongue. I mean, Jonathan talks. Jonathan doesn't keep quiet. He's have an inquisitive spirit. He always wants to know. And not only wants to know, he actually dictates to you. When you are giving him your input, no, he tells you. So he has a domineering spirit. And sometimes I say, you're too stubborn, and then again I say, maybe if you weren't stubborn, you wouldn't be alive. So I guess it works in his favor. But at school, it's the same Jonathan. At the clinic, he can tell every doctor name. As you reach in, I say, come sit now. I say, no, I must weigh. And you say, and come take my pressure. Mom, you need to learn to use the machine. You're not learning, you know, you need to learn. I mean, it just keeps you. Maybe if it was a poorly child, it would bother me, but no. Jonathan is just Jonathan. A faithful little boy is just Jonathan. Without the foundation, I would have to be paying $7,500 each time he goes on dialysis. That would be $21,000 for 1 week. Because of the foundation and the help I'm getting, he can just go, do his 10 hours dialysis and go home. So for me, I give them tops. We do our run, we do our support, we sell tickets to help. It's a good support system. And I don't see anything lacking. We need supplies, that's what I know. We run out of supplies a lot. Because the worse the kidney gets, you know, you use the supplies more. So we do need a clinic, we do need supplies. I never thought I would really like for Dr. Miller if she could get her own space to do her dialysis. Instead of going to university where you have to go in the adult ward and then they put us to the back. If we could get somewhere, you know, it's just, I'm going such a place for dialysis today. Even on the ward, you have insane people there. And then you have your child, yes. But other parents out there, whether you have a kidney child or not, it's good to support. We have our pants in the wholesale, the pharmacies. Everywhere you go, you can find a renal pad. If it's even $1, put it in. It counts.
Coming up on Caring Hands.
There are actually only 3 pediatric nephrologists in Jamaica and in the English-speaking Caribbean at this time. So we are kind of a rare breed.
The Jamaica Kidney Kids Foundation is dedicated to ensuring that children affected by kidney disease are cared for.
There are actually only 3 pediatric nephrologists in Jamaica and in the English-speaking Caribbean at this time, so we are kind of a rare breed. The foundation started in July 2012, and initially it was started mainly as a fundraising measure to get funds to build a pediatric dialysis unit at the University Hospital, which is the only place where children under the age of 12 can actually get dialysis treatment. But as time went on, we realized the cost for this would be prohibitive. And we also recognized that the items that were needed for dialysis were actually chronically in short supply. And having a building without supplies would kind of be pointless. So we directed our goals towards supplying the hospital with the needs for the children, so the equipment that's used for dialysis, not just a building. And then we went on to expand to educating the population about kidney disease in children, and also having a support group for parents whose children had chronic kidney disease. And we expanded the educational arm even more towards the training of more pediatric specialists in the field of pediatric nephrology. And since the training for this is not available locally, then it meant that we needed to do some fundraising for that. Additionally, we figured that we needed to educate physicians about kidney disease, because we are aware that children were missing clinic appointments in Kingston for financial reasons, couldn't afford the bus fare. So in 2013, we had a workshop for all the pediatricians who were in the public hospitals across the island, from as far away as Annotto Bay to Savlamar, St. Elizabeth. And during that period of time, we trained them in the detection and management of children with chronic kidney disease, so that now all over the island where these pediatricians are, they're able to see the children first line, monitor them, liaise with us, so they can manage them well by themselves with our help. And maybe they come to clinic in Kingston once or twice a year instead of every 2 months as before. And that has been tremendously successful. So we have, it's now multifaceted as not just a fundraiser for a building, to supplying supplies for children with kidney disease, improving the general appreciation of kidney disease in children, both at the level of the community, at the doctors, and at the family level. Javari has a sort of brain disease which had caused him to lose his ability to walk and talk. He's very much aware of what's going on, but he's like trapped in his body. He knows when he's upset, and he can tell you when he's upset by turning his head away and so. But he was in perfect health until he got dengue in 2012. And after a really bad bout with dengue, he lost his kidney function and ended up on dialysis, and has been on dialysis since. He has a supremely dedicated mother who takes excellent care of him. And he is probably one of our most stable patients on dialysis. He generally doesn't get sick. So the mommy is now head of the JKK parent support group, and she's really a very dynamic, cohesive force within the group. Now, Jonathan was born with abnormal kidneys. In fact, he was born during the Dudus riots, and mommy actually, I think, delivered in the taxi on the way to the hospital, because it was difficult to come out of her community to get medical care. And his kidney disease was not detected immediately, even though he had been born with it. But when he failed to gain weight, after a period of time, he was referred to the hospital, and that was where the diagnosis of kidney failure was made. He's on dialysis as well. He started just this year, whereas Javari started in 2012. He is a dynamic child, honestly. You'd never know that he's sick. He's in the back, all the children on peritoneal dialysis, which is dialysis with a tube in the tummy, as opposed to hemodialysis, which is actual blood going from your body through a filter and coming back. Most children are on the peritoneal dialysis. So he's at the back with the children. We don't have a separate room, because we never ever got our own home. So we share facilities at the grace and kindness of the adult physicians. So we're at the back of Ward 4 now. And virtually I don't think there's probably one or no adults there. So though it's an adult unit, we kind of have taken over a segment of it, and kind of bring life to the whole area, because there are a lot of older people at the front, and the children actually bring them joy. So Jonathan is doing very, very well. He is in school, and he's doing really, really well. We don't expect any of our children to die from something unless it's like chick-V or some really unusual thing that became really severe, not from their renal failure. Dialysis is not the end point. Transplantation is a goal. But there are many obstacles to transplantation really at this time. A large one is financial. Kidney transplantation is cheaper than dialysis. That is true in the long term. But in the short term, for you to have a transplant, you have to do a number of tests to see whether you and your donor are compatible. If you're doing live donor transplant, like parent to child, the parent has to go through some tests to make sure that she has 2 kidneys, that they work well, and she has no risk factors that would put her in danger should she give a kidney. Now, I think within the government system where this is covered, it is a less expensive venture personally for each individual. But at University Hospital, this is a fee-paying hospital, and the parent would have to pay for investigation about her and the child. Sigma has continued to pay for the peritoneal dialysis treatment of the children, so they don't have to pay anything. And what we have done, since we realized the children who are on home dialysis would otherwise be in hospital using the supplies, we have supplied them with half of their month's supply of home fluid, so it helps to reduce the expense. We had, up to a month ago, 4 children having peritoneal dialysis. One was on home dialysis. He benefited, mommy at that time was paying for his rental of his machine. Barry just got into high school, he's 12. And then we had Jonathan and Javari. Barry's mommy was very concerned because sometimes she would be in hospital early but don't get put on to the dialysis machine till later, which means the way they do it with peritoneal dialysis, they come in after school, get dialysis in the night, go home, get dressed, go to school the next day. But if you go on late, you come off late, you're likely to be late for school. And she, being a teacher, this is not a good thing. So she expressed the desire to start on home dialysis, and she was trying her best to put the money up to get to rent her own machine. But it was thanks to Sigma, we have been able to let her use the Sigma donation. So Barry is now at home on dialysis by his mom every morning. They get to school on time, she gets to work on time, and it's fantastic. We're always grateful to the Jamaican people who support us, because we have these little tins at the Progressive Grocers and Lo Shusan and Super Value, and the donations that come from these contributions that help to keep us going, and we tremendously appreciate everything the Jamaican public does for these children.
The Jamaica Kidney Kids Foundation is seeking your help with the following items to upgrade the peritoneal dialysis unit located at the back of Ward 4 at the University Hospital of the West Indies. 1 gently used small printer, 3 packs of dividers for filing cabinets, money to buy fabric to make privacy curtains, 42 sheets and 42 pillowcases, money to buy 21 packs of 12 curtain hooks. If you are able to help in any way possible, please contact the Jamaica Kidney Kids Foundation on the numbers provided on your screen, or email them at jakidney.kids@gmail.com.